Hey guys, welcome back to the Football Center with Goma. So it is Tuesday, and I don't need to hold up a banner to give you the notice that La Liga returns this week. The countdown is on. June 11th is the date, and we're 2 days away from it. That is clear as day. But for now, let's talk about some of the stories that are making the back pages in the football section. Now, first and foremost, when do the European competitions return? With the return dates of the European domestic leagues clear as day, there is still uncertainty and doubts hovering over the return dates of the Uefa Champions League and Europa League. Now, before football came to a halt, we'd gotten to the round of 16 stage of the Uefa Champions League, and at this point, we'd already seen last season's champions Liverpool knocked out by Atletico Madrid. PSG dispatched Borussia Dortmund to make it to the quarterfinals, while Atalanta defeated Valencia to make it to the last 8. Now, the rest of the round of 16 ties had gotten only as far as the first legs, with the second legs having to be cancelled due to the coronavirus pandemic. Now, from what we gather, UEFA officials are set to meet on June the 17th to discuss a way forward as they plan to make a return to the field. And all this, one option has been highlighted: a World Cup format. UEFA officials are considering to play the rest of the Champions League and Europa League matches in a World Cup format, in which we would witness a one-legged quarterfinal, one-legged semi-final, and of course, the final. Now, Istanbul was meant to host this season's UEFA Champions League final. However, due to the regulations that accompany a return to football, the post-pandemic football era, no fans will be allowed in the stadium, and due to this, the cost of playing in Istanbul is now feasible. 3 countries are being considered for the UEFA Champions League and Europa League: Lisbon, Frankfurt, and Moscow. From what we hear, Moscow has failed to meet some of UEFA's requirements and may be out of the running. And due to a recent poll, Frankfurt is in to host the Europa League, while Lisbon may host the Champions League. Now, in addition to that one-legged quarterfinal and one-legged semi-final, all the games will be played in these cities. In case Lisbon does win that race to host the Champions League final, all the other games will be played in Lisbon as well. The first quarterfinal and the semi-final will all be played in Lisbon, and the same for the Europa League. As long as Frankfurt wins that race to host the Europa League, the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals will be played in Frankfurt. Now, that's all we have on the European competition's return. Perhaps the only other thing is that the European competitions cannot be played until the domestic leagues have been completed, until they've come to a conclusion, which means we could see a return of the UEFA Champions League and Europa League in August. And they plan to have it go for around only 2 weeks so that they can make up ground and have space for the start of the next season. Now, until June the 17th, that's all we can go by. We can only speculate, and furthermore will be revealed to us after the June the 17th. Now, all we can do is sit back and wait and hope for the best that the UEFA Champions League and Europa League do return. Now, England and Manchester City forward Raheem Starling calls for black managers to be given an equal opportunity in the managerial sector of football. In the wake of the recent events that unfolded in the USA a couple of weeks ago, where a black man by the name of George Floyd was murdered by a white police officer in the state of Minneapolis, protests have been sparking up all around the globe. Asia, Europe, USA, Africa, you name it. Everyone has been standing up and calling for justice and a stop to the vice that we all know as racism. Athletes and celebrities have been using their platforms and voices to spread and get the message across that Black Lives Matter. Now, one player in particular in football has been using his voice as loudly as he can and has been an influential person during this particular point in time, and that is Raheem Starling. In a recent interview with BBC News Tonight, Raheem Starling said that in a league where there are around 500 players and a third of them are black, it is absurd that only one manager in the Premier League is black, and that is Nuno Espirito Sancho, who manages Wolves. The rest are not black, I should say. He went on to give a lucid example where he gave an example of 4 former England international players: Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, Sol Campbell, and Ashley Cole. He puts Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard in one bracket and Sol Campbell and Ashley Cole in another. He said one group of players have been given golden opportunities and chances to express just how good they are in this managerial career, while the other group of players have been thrown to the wolves. Sol Campbell currently manages a second lower league side, while Ashley Cole is a youth coach. He said, why can't they also be given equal opportunities or chances to show that they can be as good as anyone else, like the way of Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard were given opportunities? They are off managing big clubs such as Rangers and Chelsea, while the other two are building themselves from the ground up. Why can't they be given such opportunities as well? Now, Dwight York, a former Manchester United player, also came out and said how hard it is for a black player or for a black person to find a managerial job. He said to the public, or he gave in an interview, that he recently applied for an Aston Villa job and actually went to Sir Alex Ferguson for a recommendation, which he happily obliged. He called in Aston Villa and said that they should consider Dwight York. However, he said he wasn't even called in for an interview and kept on moaning about how hard it is for a black man to find a job in the managerial sector of football. And I don't think I'm the only one who has realized during my time of watching football that you hardly see a black player or a black manager in the dugout, even in the backroom staff. All right, Raheem Starling also went on to say that even the backroom staff, you don't find that there's a lot of diversity. They're mostly white, and he called for a lot of diversity in the coaching staff, in the managerial jobs, even in Parliament. All right, and I don't think I'm the only one who saw that as well. There are many fans out there who have also witnessed it, and Raheem Sterling is just simply shedding some light on something that has been there that needed to be talked about, and this is a wonderful opportunity to actually talk about it, given all the things that are going around and happening at this point in time. And I think he has hit the perfect point right there. There needs to be more black people in the managerial sector of football. Not only that, but higher rankings as well. He also went on to talk about how in the parliament in the UK, only 21 people or 21 there are only 21 black people in the parliament, while the rest are white, and around 600 seats. I don't get it, but they are majority seats. Okay, and we need to see more diversity in these managerial places. All right, we need to see more black people in there, and I think these protests are pushing for that. We're going in the right direction, moving a step in the right direction. And he also wanted to say that until change actually happened, I don't think that these protests would have been fruitful. All right, it is fine that people are posting and people are marching, but we need to see change. We need to see those people actually practice what they preach, because we see people, they're coming out at this point in time and saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And we're not naive. Politicians don't actually practice what they preach more often than not. But they need to come out and see that this is serious this time, right? If they didn't take the race seriously, this is serious. We're in 2020, all right? And we have had enough, all right? The minority has had enough. We need to be heard. Black Lives Matter. Regardless of the color of our skin, we are all human beings, all right? We think alike, all right? What do you have that we do not have? That is the question that we need to ask us. All right? They say no to racism and stuff, but there's only one black manager in the Premier League. All right? And we saw a couple of weeks ago where Uefa came out with a statement concerning all this, and it didn't hit the point at all. They were far off the mark. All right? Football needs to wake up. Okay? It doesn't need to be only the players. All right, it needs to be those people in charge. We need to see more representation of those people, of black people, in those managerial places. All right, in those places of high power, people in places of influence, where they can be able to say that, that's not fair. You know what, our race also needs this sort of recognition. So Raheem Starling has hit a point there, and it's something that needs to be worked upon. He's calling for black managers to be given equal opportunities in the managerial jobs, and we're all for it. All right, we want to see more diversity in the managerial jobs, and who knows, perhaps a black manager may even be much better than the so-called profile and prominent names, all right, in the world at the moment. They need to be given that chance. So Raheem Starling, thank you for hitting that point. Yes, so yeah, and with that, I'd like to say, Raheem Starling, kudos, and let's hope that your call is answered. And finally, before we call it in, La Liga is returning this week, as I said before. We're 2 days away from the restart of the Spanish top-tier football league. The league resumes with the derby between Real Betis and Sevilla on Thursday before Barcelona take on Mallorca on Saturday. Then on Sunday, the two Madrid clubs, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, will be on show. So we'll be ending off the weekend with some crispy and hot La Liga action. For now, I'd like to wish you guys a very good week. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a like if you did, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace out.